Hey everybody, sorry to interrupt you there. It's me, Jim, from the future. So Facebook tells me that you guys might watch in like the first 12-13 minutes of my videos, which is cool, super appreciate it. But this time kind of means something to me. Had something kind of happen this week that I want to talk about at the end of the video. So even if you watch the first 12 minutes, well, jump forward to the last 12 minutes. It really mean a lot to me. So there's probably something in the middle you should hear too, but life really sucks sometimes, let's put it that way. But thanks for watching, thanks for all the support, and well, sorry, carry on. I really gotta clean this garage. I'm tired of tripping over literally everything. This is just ridiculous. Well, I'd like to say that these went together without a hitch, but it's not entirely true. Very first wheel I tried to mount, this guy on my tire machine decided to like come totally loose. See how it's like shakes a little bit? Well, it was shaking like way more. And both of these Allen bolts or set screws backed out, and it was completely loose. I don't know how that happened because it wasn't like that last time I used it. And this shifted and dug into the wheel and put a nice big gouge in it. And if you look hard enough, there's some aluminum shavings here. It basically acted as a lathe bit. So yeah, it's had to take my die grinder and smooth it out. And yeah, it's kind of annoying, but whatever. Wheels and tires are mounted balanced. Yeah, they're not balanced, but they're mounted, so there's that. I kind of take time where I could find it lately, and lately I haven't had much time. So this coming week I'm gonna try to set a day or two aside just for working on a couple of these vehicles. So hopefully that goes pretty good. I really hope it does. My son really is a handful. I'll just leave it at that. He really is. And my in-laws really help out as much as they can. Like, they really help out a lot. And sometimes they take them, like, you know, on like a weekend or something just to help out. Oh, that's unfortunately not going to happen for a little while now. See, is it hard? See, I lost my wife to cancer in 2019, and that's when my son was 3. Well, he's almost 8 now, and had to adjust some things in my life. Let's put it that way. And this past year or so, I've just now been getting like more heavily back into working on these vehicles instead of just buying and selling them, because that's all I've been doing for a while, mostly. And I've been neglecting my F100, which is sitting here covered in crap. This one needs the foam in the fuel cell deteriorated and clogged the fuel system, so I need to go through that. And in all honesty, it needs clutch and trans. I mean, trans still works, but it's not really 100%. So fuel system and trans service basically on this one. I'd really like to drive it again this year. This one's waiting for this guy. This guy's waiting to get sold, because I don't know, a year ago I could have sold it no problem, and now the market's different and it's just sitting here. And this one, we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I've just now, like the past year or so, I've been able to get in the mindset where I want to start working on these vehicles again. And trusting, you know, having my son out here and helping out, or you get the idea. It's a struggle. It's a constant struggle. But my father-in-law, my wife's father, obviously, he was just diagnosed with cancer, and he's starting treatment this coming week. And I haven't been taking it very well, like at all. Like, I haven't been sleeping. I've been trying to like watch what I eat past like couple months, and I've just been eating like crap again, and I've been like really moody. Like, I've been taking my anger out on like literally everybody, and I'm sorry. But yeah, they'll be preoccupied with that, of course, and I really hope he makes it. I really do. He's a great guy. He really is. And said, you know, that means I'll, you know, have to keep my son on the weekends. It's not a huge deal. Millions of fathers do it all the time. Millions of mothers do it all the time. I can do it. It's just you know, you know, less time to get this stuff done, unfortunately, but it is what it is, and gotta deal with it. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to work harder at setting a day or two aside during the week. I'm self-employed. I get to make my own hours, so I'm just gonna deal with it that way. So this, however, the reason I haven't really worked on this, and I figured it out, you're gonna laugh at me. I know you're gonna laugh at me. I have a pretty bad case of PTSD from my father dying, and I got over it eventually, but then it flared up again, probably like tenfold, when my wife passed away, and I didn't realize that's what it was until very recently. And it all kind of makes sense now why I haven't worked on this truck barely at all. Like, I can't work on it by myself. I've tried. I just can't get in the right mindset. I just can't do it. I can literally work on everything else. I can work on that car, I can work on that van, I can work on everything else except this truck, because it was my dad's. And this truck was there with me and my father when my father passed away. So if you want to talk about PTSD triggers, got a big red one right here. So quite the pickle I got myself into, huh? So I'm gonna work on this when I can, pretty much. It's here. It's not going anywhere, and well, soon. Yeah, soon. Anywho, I gotta get inside and make dinner. Oh, see you guys in a bit. Well, it'll be a couple days for me. It'd be a few seconds for you. I'll get these mounted on that car, and I've got a few other things for it. A bunch of tune-up parts, and hopefully a gas tank strap to replace the one that's not there, because that's, you know, it's always good to have two gas tank straps. So I'm gonna try and make myself like this car, because it's still here. So I originally bought it, I was gonna flip it, but haven't really tried to flip it. Oh, it's kind of growing on me. It's good. It's missing two doors, and it's got this weird foldy top. I don't know, man, what's happening to me. Well, it's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I went to go see mine yesterday. Bought her a new lawnmower. Seems pretty happy with it. Going to see in-laws in a little bit here, but I had a little bit of time. Let's see if I have lug nuts to throw these wheels on. I should find out in a minute here. Probably turn some lights on. Unfortunately, I only have 3 of these. I have 4 packs of these, so I could put 4 on each wheel and maybe get 1 more pack at the store if I can find them, or get 1 pack of wheel locks, which I might have somewhere. I do have 5 packs of these, however they're 7/8 hex and I don't think they'll work on the wheels, so looking like I'll use these. And worst case, I gotta get 1 more pack, either whether it's locks or just another pack of these. In case you're wondering why I have so many lug nuts, Pep Boys did away with their retail parts division a couple years ago and put everything on clearance, and I went around and bought all the lug nuts I could find because it was a good idea at the time, and I'm actually glad I did it, because I think I had like 2 crates full and now I'm down to 1 crate, so been using the crap out of them. I got lucky. I found 4 more used ones in the garage. They'll be fine as long as they have the same hex and the same taper to be fine. Well, this is a nice surprise. It's got a brand new caliper on this side, along with the hose and everything, so saves me some time. Like I said, I'm not used to buying vehicles that are already driving. So maybe that's where my lack of motivation for this one comes from. I don't know. So the back doesn't seem to be any different story. It's got new wheel cylinders, new lines. Looks like it's ready to go. I gotta stop cheating on this car, man. So I'm sitting here working and start smelling something. No, I didn't have Taco Bell for lunch. I smell skunk. It just got really strong all of a sudden, so somewhere there's a skunk around here. I guess back in the 60s and 70s they called this Skunk Hollow because of all the skunks around, so seems fitting, huh? Another reason I don't like working out here in the evening, because I'll be laying underneath the car and a skunk will walk right past me. It sucks. All right, well, there she is. I really must say, wheels do make the car. Back end needs to come up a little bit though. It's a little too low for my taste. Get just a tiny bit up, just a tiny bit. I don't know if the springs are wore out or what, but definitely needs to come up just a hair. But I don't know. I'm really liking that. This car is starting to grow on me a little more. So this week I'm going to get basic tune-up done, plugs, wires, cap rotor, and I'm gonna try to go through the carburetor because the carburetor has some leaks on it. So I'm gonna get that taken care of. I got a carb kit. It's hopefully the right one. It's always hit or miss with these old 2-barrel Fords. There were so many variations that sometimes you get the wrong one. It just is what it is. And I also got gas tank straps for it. They're sold in pairs. I couldn't figure out if anybody makes them specifically for this car, but supposedly 69 through 72 is supposed to be the same, and I find them for 71 and 72, and the 71 and 72 carry a 69 part number, so hopefully, I'll cross my fingers that I can make one work, because it's just missing one. I don't want to drive around with one gas tank strap, or one missing gas tank strap, however you want to put it. But yeah, I'm gonna do all that to it and go from there and see how I feel about it after that, because it definitely seems like it has misfire. I'm hoping you know, basic tune-up will take care of that. Fingers crossed, and we'll go from there. All right, I can finally get back to working on this thing. It's been hotter than hell out the past few days, and got a nice cool breeze right now, so I'm going to take advantage of it. I've also been trying to work on this van, try to get this thing ready to sell. Got some new wheels and tires on it. Got the front bumper swapped out, as it had like a big old hydraulic tank mounted on the front of it, because it had a sort of like a core sampling machine mounted in the back of it. But still got to get these decals off. I might actually leave this guy up here. I think it'd be kind of funny just to leave that up there. It's got like a silhouette of a van and just this probe lab. Yeah, just leave it at that. This thing's pretty cool. It's rust free. It's only got like 80,000 miles on it, and it's a diesel. I mean, it's got a lot going for it. It's a pretty sweet rig. Someone could do something pretty cool with that. It's got generators on the roof. It's got AC on the roof. It's a pretty cool setup. So yeah, I'm gonna get working on this thing though, and show you guys what I'm doing to it right now, I guess. So I'm gonna work on these plugs, wires, cap rotor, all that today. It's pushing 7 o'clock, so it'll be dark here about another hour or so. Little tip when you're doing plugs and wires. Real easy way of doing it. If the car's already running, you know everything's where it's supposed to be, just do one at a time. Seriously, just do one at a time. And if you're doing plugs and wires without the cap rotor, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. And that way you don't screw up the firing order. Now if you're doing plugs, wires, cap rotor, you can disconnect the cap like so. Well, this one's pretty easy. I think most of the Chevys have like a screw, but the Fords are pretty simple. Well, for the most part, you disconnect the cap, put it aside, and just keep it aside. And keep everything connected. And just make note where everything's at. Usually the Fords have number 1 marked on the cap. Yeah, you see, it's got a 1 right there. So this would be cylinder number 1. You follow it, it goes back, number 1. So they make this pretty foolproof. See, this one's got points in it still, which is cool. Points work totally fine when they're working. When they're not working, they're a little finicky to some people. What's nice, you can get Pertronics makes a conversion kit to convert this to electronic ignition. They're pretty easy to install, but for the most part, points work pretty good. So you shouldn't have to worry about them too much. And once you get used to adjusting them and everything, they're not bad. But I just remembered that I do have a cap and rotor. It's in the house. I gotta go grab it. But yeah, I'm gonna get to work and see you guys in a bit here. Well, with any luck, I put everything back together correctly. Plugs didn't look too bad coming out. They were not gapped correctly. They only had, on average, about 30 thousandths of a gap. This engine calls for 45 thousandths, so they were like, I don't know, what would you call that? 1/3? 1/3 closed. Does that sound correct? Yeah, right, 1/3 closed. One, I think it was number 4 all the way in the back. It was like 25 thousandths or something. It was pretty narrow. These are supposed to be exact fit wires. I didn't like them that much because I wasn't able to reuse the factory factory wire holders. You know how you route the wires, because these were too short. They fit, but they just like barely fit. So I would have liked them to give me a little bit extra length. Again, not something I want to repeat, so I'm not going to. But they did fit. You kind of get what you pay for these days. They are exact fit, so I didn't have to worry about putting them together. It's going to be dark here in a few minutes. Well, it's going to start to get pretty dark here in a few minutes. And at least I can do is make sure I put everything back together the right way. Well, judging by that, I did something wrong, because that should have started. Lost a ton of gas. That didn't sound right at all. Sounded like something was hitting somewhere. Was a cap, rotor, I mean, what it could have been. So I didn't really like how this one plug went back in, so maybe I should check that. See? Jim doesn't always do things correctly. Sometimes he screws up. Ow, that hurt. No, that plugged in right. Alright, well, let me try to figure out where I screwed up then. Something's not right. It should have started. Well, it's just out of gas. Maybe it's just out of gas. Crap. Alright. There's gonna be lots of expletives, so I'm gonna turn you guys off. There's a chance it's just out of fuel. There's a chance. Well, I am kind of dumb, D-U-M-B, because I don't know what happened to the, oh, here it is, number 8 plug wire. I'm like, this thing sounds like it's got a misfire. It definitely has a misfire. Oh, and that power steering belt is way loose. I'm gonna see if I can tighten up that belt, get that squeal to go away. No wonder this thing makes so much noise. Look at the power steering belt. And look at the alternator belt. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'll see if I can fix those real quick. So, interesting development. Nobody's ever had this alternator loose on this car. So the fact that it has brand new belts on it is very interesting. It also makes sense why they're so loose. Somehow, as I was saying before we were so rudely interrupted, wind. Somehow they were able to get new belts on the car without ever tightening anything. Great. So I had to get out the big guns for the alternator and hope that this bolt doesn't break. You know what? Hold on a second there. in case. All right, it kind of moved. That is totally gonna break. Yeah, it's gonna break. Oh. So I can tighten the alternator like this. Kinda. Sorta. Yeah, the bolt's not moving at all. It feels like it's gonna break. This is ridiculous. All I'm doing is moving the alternator, I'm not moving the bolt. I'm starting to think I paid too much for this car. Oh, this sucks. Yeah, this is really bad. I'll show you what I got going on here. I'm just moving the alternator. I don't even see a bolt moving, so I'm a little confused here. And it's not moving far enough that I can tighten it either. So that's a little worrisome also. Alright, I got a few more minutes of daylight left, so. Alright, I think I was able to get the alternator belt a little tighter. About as tight as I can get it. Still gotta get the power steering. I'm not sure where the adjustment's at on this. Somewhere. Oh, it's right there. I see it now. Alright, I'm gonna try that right now. Oh, look at that pulley. Somebody was prying on that pulley. That's no good. See that? If I do the power steering pump, I'm gonna have to fix that pulley while I'm at it. That's unfortunate. People, man, people. All right, we'll see if that helped any. Loose belts seem to be a reoccurring theme on my channel, don't they? Maybe I should switch everything over to serpentine belts. Definitely needs exhaust. Exhaust is horrible. I hear a vacuum leak somewhere. Still runs a little rough. Oh, that's gonna be a vacuum leak. That's a vacuum leak. smoke. I'm just fogging for mosquitoes. That tapping you hear is exhaust leak for sure. Oil lights on, but I don't know. Yeah, she burns a little oil. Yeah, this car's not growing on me like I hoped it would. She's burning a little oil. I don't have the desire to fix this thing correctly. I just don't have it in me. I don't like two doors. I don't like convertibles. I really shouldn't have bought this car. Let's put it that way. Because it's just puffing along. And the oil light's on. So this engine's pretty tired, unfortunately. That's it for now. I'm going to contemplate life for a little bit. Yep. Well, wheels didn't last long on there. I'll tell you why. You see, when I first bought this car, I had it running for maybe 3-4 minutes. Just ran it long enough to make sure that it went into gear. Shut the car off. Paid the man, started the car back up, pulled it up on the trailer, and that was it. Then sat in my driveway for a while and pulled it off the trailer and parked it here. Had no reason to think anything was amiss. I was a little wrong. You see, I was working on it the other day and I had it running for about 10 minutes. And well, after it runs for a bit, it starts to smoke, and it gets worse and worse. Yeah, she burns oil. She burns a lot of oil, like so bad that I don't think it's the rings. It could be the rings. I don't think it's the rings. I'm trying to tell myself it's not the rings, but it does it when you first start it, and it keeps doing it, but it just gets worse and worse. Like, to the point where it's not even like, how can I say, like, if I were to drive this thing, it would attract attention. Let's put it that way. And, to be totally honest with you, yeah, it's worth pulling the motor out and fixing it if you liked convertibles. It's worth pulling the motor out and fixing it if you liked two doors. But I had to convince myself that I liked the car in the first place, and guess what? I don't like it enough to pull the motor out and fix it. So where am I at on this car? Well, I could dump it off at auction, but that's bad karma. I don't want that kind of karma. I mean, you know, auction's gonna run it long enough just to show people that it runs, but after, you know, runs for, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, it gets progressively worse. It gets real bad, trust me. And I don't, that's not me. I wouldn't want to buy a car at auction and get stuck with it. So I'm basically at a point where I'm giving it like one more day for someone to save this car, and I already have plans in my head with what I want to do with it, and it doesn't involve this car being in one piece anymore. Not gonna ruin it for you, but it would definitely involve removing the engine, transmission, rear axle, and the front brakes. Possibly the whole chassis. Actually, I had somebody that was interested in the frame, but I don't know. I might have to, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm doing that yet, so. This car, unfortunately, was a bad buy, and I decided something. I can't buy convertibles anymore. Every time I buy a convertible, something happens like this. I can't do convertibles. I had that, oh, what the hell was that thing? A Daimler little Roadster. That thing was a nightmare. I was so glad when I sold that thing. I had a 70 Torino convertible that I bought from an auction company through an estate. I purchased it through an auction company. The auction company flat out lied about the car, and they basically said it was a 429 Super Cobra Jet car. They flat out said it was a 429 Super Cobra Jet car, and turns out it had a VIN number on it off of a coupe. Yeah, it was a 429 Super Cobra Jet VIN on a small block convertible shell, and it had a lot of rust issues they didn't disclose. Got my money back out of that one though, because they flat out lied. So feel like there's another convertible somewhere that gave me a lot of grief, but yeah, I'm not doing any more convertibles, that's for sure. So that's where I'm at on this car. I wish I could have ended this on a different note, but unfortunately, it's just not me. I mean, if it was a station wagon, if it was a four-door sedan, something, just not a two-door convertible. It was a four-door convertible, but those are only Lincolns. All right. So you thought it was over with. Ha! Just took a deposit, an in-person deposit for a bunch of parts on this car. So sorry, car is definitely coming apart. It's gonna help probably 3 or 4 people get their rides back on the road, so it's not all for a loss. And I've got something I'm gonna use a bunch of parts off of for myself. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a fun project. You're gonna like this one. I promise. It's all gonna make sense to you. So sometimes things don't work out the way you plan them to, but in the end, as long as they work out overall, that's all that matters, right? So this video didn't really go quite exactly the way I had planned for it to go, for a couple of reasons. Well, I tried for a week to try and sell this car. Week and a half, maybe a week and a half to try and sell this car at a reasonable price. I was offering it for less than I paid for it, which is $3,800. I paid $4,000 for it, and then I was in it for another, I think, like $300. So I had like $4,300 into it. So it was like a $500 loss, just because I decided to try and cut my losses with it and be done with it. Is it worth fixing? Yes, it's totally worth fixing. Is it worth fixing to me? No, it wasn't. It's totally not worth fixing to me. Like I said before, this might sound crazy to some of you, but 2 doors and convertibles are like at the bottom of the totem pole for me as far as cool vehicles, believe it or not. And strangely, a lot of people share that idea with me. So I tried for a week and a half to sell it whole. Had 4 or 5 people come look at it. The biggest problem that they seemed to have was, I'm not lying, I'm not making this up. They said that I was honest about the car's condition. One person was expecting it to be worse, and he wanted to make an offer reflecting that because he needed a parts car. The other people, well, first guy, well, I got to check with my wife. And just stop. You're never talking to me again. Oh, he did. He messaged me a few days later and offered me like $1,000 less, and I was like, no, man. I told you that's my price. That's what I'm sticking with. And he's like, all right, let me know when you change your mind. I'm like, changing my mind, man. It's just how it is. And then they had like 3 people that showed up expecting to see a better car. Like they didn't believe my condition report. They wanted to see something better, and all 3 of them told me to say pretty much the same thing. Like, well, the car's exactly what you said it was. I was hoping for something a little nicer. Well, I mean, I don't lie. I don't lie for good reason. I don't like to down talk things. I don't like to up talk things. But so then I put the car up, say that I'm parting it out, and everybody started crying that the car's too nice to part out. I'll buy it whole. I have cash. Save it for me. I'll come tomorrow. I had 5 people in a row tell me, save it for me. I'll be there tomorrow with cash. I want to save this car. And guess how many of those people showed up? 0. None. Not a single one. There's one guy that kept taking me around for like pretty much 4 or 5 days, and he swore up and down, I want the car so bad, I want the car, I'll take it, I can't get there till this weekend. I'm like, listen, you send me $100 deposit, I'll hold it for you till this weekend, otherwise I'm gonna start parting it out. Oh, that's crazy. I never heard of any such thing of sending its own money for a vehicle that I haven't seen in person. You must be a scammer. I'm like, no, that's how things work. You want me to hold the car for you? Well, give me a deposit and we're good. But all right, he didn't do it. So Friday came along. It's just last Friday. Today's the following Thursday, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna come look at it tomorrow if you still have it. And I'm like, nah, I started taking it apart, man. Well, I didn't, but I was going to. And he's like, all right, well, I'll be there tomorrow morning. I'm like, I'm starting to part it out tomorrow morning. I got people that want parts. If I wait till the next morning, never messages me. Messages me back the next day. Hey man, I was waiting for your address. You never sent me an address. Well, you never sent me a time or anything, so he wasn't serious. I messaged him back, and I was like, dude, if you were that serious in the car, you would have driven the 20 minutes that it would have taken you to come look at it in the first place. I mean, if you want something bad enough, 20-minute drive is nothing. It is absolutely nothing. He didn't want it. He just... Anywho, so that brings us to today. And any guesses what I decided to do? Well, I'll show you. Yeah, car's getting parted out. I sold a ton of parts off it already. One guy bought close to $3,000 for the parts off of it. And if you remember, I said I'd take $38 for the whole car. So, I mean, I can't argue with that. And then somebody else bought a couple parts off me for $2.5, like 250 bucks. So I'm over, just the money I received so far, I'm over $3,000 back on parts. And I still have about $2,000 worth of parts left to sell. So it's kind of a no-brainer. And I get to keep the parts I wanted to keep for a secret project I've been hiding from everybody. We'll just call him Buford. Yeah, you'll meet Buford. You'll meet Buford soon enough. But Buford is going to benefit from several parts from this vehicle. Not sure about the engine, but he will benefit from the transmission, the engine frame mounts, the accessories, all that, because I do have another motor that I may use, because this one does need to be rebuilt. It's tired. Disc brakes are going on it, and 9-inch and the 9-inch rear axle, and these steel wheels, not these hubcaps, not these tires, just the wheels. So yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that. And the front seat, even though this is a two-door, so you know, because the two-doors have this like split in the middle and they fold forward, I think I'm gonna put the front seat in private pile, because the original seat is really dry. Like, you sit in it and it's just like material just cracks as soon as you sit in it. So so I think this seat will work pretty good in private pile. But yeah, yeah, one guy's super happy with everything so far, and he's actually wants to come back for more stuff. So, and he even said, he's like, well, I would have bought the whole car, but I don't have the time or space to part it out, so I'd rather just buy parts off you. I'm like, I'm fine with that. So, and upon further inspection, this side wasn't terrible, but it's actually got some rot up inside here and a real hard to reach spot to fix it. This is all rotted out up in here, and it's starting to go down here, and this, hey, where'd it go? I can't find it. Oh, I'll show you the door open. It's easier that way. This is starting to all blow out over here. That's a real hard spot to fix. And the car's been repaired once already. Oh, the rockers are loaded with body filler, and the lower rear quarters also. So, the car isn't that nice. Like, it's nice, but it's not like, you know, I don't feel bad doing this at all. I really don't. Hey, the two-door convertibles are the new parts cars for the four doors. What can I say? But if you're upset about this, I'm sorry. It's just how things worked out. And if you're upset about this, well, it's just a car. It's literally just a car. Just, you know, it's not even like that special of a car. And you know, what's really important in life are people and friends, and sometimes family. But I know I'm getting all philosophically on you now, but as today's Thursday, yeah, well, Monday I got some bad news. A real good friend of mine lost his life in a car accident on I-80 out here. He was driving Chevy Tahoe, and he slowed down for traffic, and the semi-truck behind him didn't slow down and slammed into him. And yeah, it's that wasn't the phone call I was expecting to get Monday night from his father. So, you know, what do they say, here today, gone tomorrow? It's legit, it's real. So it kind of makes you put a different perspective on all these vehicles, because when it comes down to it, they don't really matter that much. It's just a vehicle. It's a inanimate object. So if your feelings are hurt that I parted this thing out, then sorry. I don't know what else to say, but I'm doing what's right for me, unfortunately for you. So yeah, I don't know how I should title this video. Crazy man destroys priceless artifact. I don't know. Rear car destroyed. Who knows? But if you think about it, this is kind of a necessary evil of the hobby. It really is. Because let's say you have 5-6 people have cars they want to finish, and they can't because they can't find the parts. And you take something like this that technically needs a full restoration, and part it out, you're helping to get those 5-6 cars back on the road that would have otherwise just sat there until, you know, they may or may not find the parts. So, I mean, you got to look at it from both ways. If it was a GT convertible, I probably wouldn't have done it, but it was kind of a base model XL as far as XLs go. XL is kind of an upper trim package, and it was kind of a base model XL. So it's not, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. It actually had the bumpers on the car when I took them off. They're new old stock at one point, so I should be able to get $500-600 each out of them. I'm super happy about that. But hey, it works out for me. I've got a ton of parts, so I could build this other car the way I want to build it, and I don't have any money into them. Like, I actually have negative money into them, which is awesome as far as, you know, trying to afford your hobby. To have $0 into parts you need is like, yes, that's the way to go. So, all right, that's how it is. Getting back to my buddy real quick. If you remember the video where I went to see Silas to pick up that station wagon, he was the buddy that went with me on that trip. It was a really fun trip with him, it really was. And we're talking, and like, we're, you know, looking forward to going back, you know, to see Silas together or go on more picking trips together. So yeah, yeah, it sucks, it really does. He good guy, real good guy. He had a huge heart, always put everybody else in front of him, and that's just the way it goes sometimes, right? Unfortunately. But yeah, so I said today's Thursday, Saturday's the wake. So, and his father's requesting everybody to show up with their hot rods, so that should be a good time. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, so remember, these don't mean much when it comes down to it. Friends mean a whole lot more. And I'm arguing with one of my friends right now, and yeah. All right, well, see you guys soon. Next video is gonna be kind of interesting, a little different. We're gonna be getting something going, getting something running. Something you may have seen already. It doesn't really fit the fit what I got going on in this channel, so stay tuned. It'll be a fun one.